Hello, welcome everybody. I am joined here today by my special friend, Michelette. Hi, Michelette.
Hello.
And we're here together today because we are doing a joint workshop coming up on March 16th, all about conquering emotional eating. This is such an important topic, and we're very excited to bring wisdom to you about this, something I have a lot of experience with, and we'll be able to answer some questions about what will happen in this workshop, what you'll learn, and also just talk a little bit about what emotional eating is, why it's an issue, and what we can do about it. So we will be learning a little bit more about it and talk about the class, which is going to be taking place in Hillsborough, North Carolina. And it will have a virtual option as well. So it is accessible to people who can't attend in person. The in person is limited. So, yes, Michelette, without further ado, um, why don't you tell us what made you interested in doing this workshop with me and why you might think it's an important topic?
Love the opportunity to work with you because I pretty much love everything that you bring to the world.
Oh, thank you. That's so
Your
sweet.
perspective and experience is amazing. And I would love for my clients and the people that I know and love and care about to hear the way that you look at the body and especially this topic. It is certainly an unspoken yet commonplace topic that ails a lot of people, including myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it might help people to know like our backgrounds with emotional eating. So I can tell you that I've experienced a lot of emotional eating in my life, and I just I had learned really it was a coping strategy, a way of numbing feelings, right? And this happens, and I feel like it happens more with women than with men, although a man can certainly experience this, but just in talking to people, I feel like it does happen a lot with women where we kind of use food to numb emotions out. And I know I have experienced that. And sometimes not even knowing what I was feeling, just knowing that I wasn't feeling well, wasn't and didn't know how to deal with those emotions. And so I would stuff food in my mouth or I would overeat. So I had been to lots of healers, lots of people who they would give you those supplement lists, the restrictive diet plan for healing the gut, all of that, but they weren't really helping or giving me the tools for how to deal with these unsettling emotions. And it isn't until now, I'm 42 years old and I'm finally like getting the grasp on like what the root cause of of my issues have been, and it really has been my inability to process and deal with emotions and using food as a way to like stuff these emotions down and using food as a way to numb and also a way to punish myself, really.
Mhm. Been there. Yes,
So you can relate to that?
absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely comfort in that full feeling. And I have a lot of willpower, thankfully, but I know it's a finite resource and I still give
Mm-hmm.
in to that desire to just feel so full that I go to sleep or
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter if it's junk food or healthy food. You can still get the same feeling.
And that's the thing is exactly that is it emotional eating is not about like what the food is. It's not as much as it could be anything that yet you use to fill that void. It could be blueberries, it could be anything. You can emotionally eat on anything.
Mhm.
And do you find that people think that with emotional eating that it is something that, you have to be overweight um to experience?
Yeah, I do think a lot of times I try to connect with clients in understanding because I do understand and maybe they don't quite believe me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very much there. And it's why I am where I am is because this started a long time ago. And
Mm-hmm.
I've learned layers upon layers about myself and have certainly given up bad habits, but not everything. I haven't gotten to the core, and that's why I'm really interested in what you say, because we all have emotions, and we all sometimes have trouble going to what's really eating away at us.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, and we're both thin people, but we both experience emotional eating. So I think that's really important for people to know that it doesn't have a restriction on size. Like you can overeat or emotionally eat, and be really skinny or be or not, it doesn't matter. And I think we should maybe take a pause here and just introduce ourselves and in terms of what we're bringing to this workshop, what our background is. So I'm Melanie from Root to Rise Wellness, and I'm bringing this really amazing tool that I've learned for how to stop emotional eating. And you don't need willpower. You will naturally want a food and then want it either not at all or less just by doing this one time. And it's like about a 15-minute practice, and it gets really deep. And I learned it for myself. So now I'm sharing it because it's that good. But I really learned it for me as a tool to use because emotional eating has been for me, an issue. So that's what I'm going to be bringing. And also I'm going to be bringing some medicinal tea for us to have a connection experience. It's really nice to go through a deep process with other people. And really, really looking forward to, as an herbalist, because that is my other background, to bring some medicinal tea so that we can process what comes up together in a really safe container. And then Michelette, you can take it away.
I hope to bring a lovely, comforting practice that will be a complement to the emotional work we engage in. My intention is for us to leave feeling like we just did the very best thing for our health this entire year, and hopefully our whole entire life, because by tag teaming this, we can really ingrain the message.
Awesome. And so what can we expect from the yoga portion?
Yumminess, of course.
Yay.
So it's probably going to be restorative, meaning very likely that we won't leave the floor, but if there's a need for more, depending on how the morning goes, we may need to heat ourselves up just so we can really get present and ground. I hope those words mean something to you. If not, I will certainly introduce them and help you get a nice feeling. So I always strive to help people feel the joys of movement. So this should be an enjoyable practice.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So would you like me to speak more about kind of why we emotionally eat, or are you interested in learning about how I address this with clients, or what do you think we should go for now?
I love the idea. Like, do you think most of us have this down and we're just left out and everybody else has it figured out, or is that our majority?
Right. Well, I think it's definitely a problem that a lot of people have. And there's all these, it's in movies, it's everywhere. Like we do it, right? And no, I don't think we have it down. I think it's almost become acceptable, or just, I don't know, just something that is part of our society that we do. And I feel like a lot of my clients, they follow restrictive diets, and they feel, because they're in a healing process with their digestive systems, that they feel like they're deprived or their body is betraying them, and they feel like it's unfair. And so, that they can't eat this or that. And so it can turn easily into emotional eating. And I just think that we lack and I know this from my own experience, I lacked in the past the introspective awareness to express my emotions, to understand what was going inside of me. I didn't know how to sit with my emotions. And so that's when I would just, gobble down the food. And You're right. It's that feeling of being full that you were speaking about, because eating, it does increase our dopamine, right? Our feel-good hormone. And so we temporarily feel better. We feel that full feeling. And then we feel bad after, like it didn't fill that void, right? It's like
It sparks the voice up in a different way.
exactly. So, learning how to connect with these emotions and also learning how to connect with that inner child that didn't get X, Y, or Z, which is part of this process that I will be teaching, is a way to stop this negative coping pattern. So yeah, that's what I think, that people just don't have the tools, Do you think people have the tools?
Well, I was going to say, do we feel like we need previous experience and inner work to get the most out of this workshop?
That's a really good question. No, anybody can do this workshop. If you have previous experience on going deep with emotions and doing, hypnosis or emotional freedom tapping or any of these things, yes, it would definitely help you. But there's no prerequisite or requirement. I'll tell you everything you need to know to get what you need out of it. And yeah. And what I love about it is this technique is also quantifiable. Like, I have you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how you feel before and after. And everyone's number, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, everyone's number always goes down. So like, I've taught this before and I haven't had that not happen. So yeah, I really think it's
And it's
really
going to
valuable.
it lasts longer than the weekend?
You mean after you do it, like how
Yeah.
long? Right. So with anything, the more you do it, the better it is, the more it works. It's not that you're going to do it once and never emotionally eat again. I don't want to give anybody false preconceptions, but you are going to be on the road to that, on the road to gaining more control and not being like feeling like there's a monster inside of you that is, you know,
Convincing you that the only thing that matters right now is getting that
yeah.
back to tips, right?
Exactly. So, yeah. So, are
Beautiful.
there any other final questions, or should we let everybody know when this is?
I cannot wait. Should we encourage bringing of journals, and are we going that deep?
Oh, I didn't think about that. We could definitely do that. I've done it before where people didn't have that, but that wouldn't be a bad idea because we're going to do the yoga after and connect with each other after the yoga. So anything that anyone wants to write down that's valuable and important, and also their number and how the number changed, because they might forget, I don't know, between a yoga practice, that might not be a bad idea. So yeah, I think bringing a journal would be a good thing, and we'll have everything else for the yoga. We'll have the tea, and it's a 3-hour experience on March 16th, both virtual and in-person options. We have only 10 spots. We will open it maybe on a different day if, you know, if we can, but that's what we have right now. And the early bird special is going on now, which ends February 17th, so you can save a little bit. The link we'll link it below, but it's at roottoriselwellness.org/classes. So we'll link that below. And yeah, like, we're really looking forward to sharing this experience with you.
Yep. And I'm really looking forward to being by your side.
And I'm looking forward to having you and doing this amazing yoga practice that's going to get us releasing and centered and all of that. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Appreciate it so much. Good to see you.
Yeah. So we'll be signing off. The health seeker in me honors the health seeker in all of you. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.